Hey guys, I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Today we are going to have a little bit more of a chill day because last night it was not the best. We finally moved into the room. We're gonna just start that project back up after Christmas. So we just went ahead and moved our bed in there because, let me show you something. Nestle has chewed a giant hole into our brand new quilt. So we figured we needed to just get it away from her so then we can, you know, just shut the door. And we have a space where we can have nice things where she's not going to destroy them. But this is her first time that she's ever slept in a room without us. And there was a lot of like separation issues and she was just screaming the entire night. That's the night we had last night, and it was after the night before we only were running on like 4 hours of sleep. So today is gonna be a chill day. I'm gonna go outside and see what needs to be done in the garden. There's always a ton. I'm going to just work on getting stuff buttoned up for winter. So then, like, I need to weed my flower beds and make sure that they're all good for the winter, and then put a thick layer of mulch down. And we're working on getting the vegetable garden ready for next year, putting down rock for pathways and cardboarding and mulching areas, so we have a really good start to next year. There's just a lot to do, and I might try and gather some more things to put in my flower press. So I hope you'll hang out with me and come along and just do some garden maintenance with me today. Come on. Always gotta check for spiders. So I'm starting out right by my front door in this area right here because I have this bag of tulips that I showed in another video. They're called Beauty of Appledorn. It's just 10 tulips, one of these small bags you get at any garden center. And I have an auger. I've never used one before. I've got my drill. I've got Biotone starter fertilizer. And I'm gonna get started by weeding this area. And then I'm gonna plant them. I think it'll just be really pretty to have those bulbs pop up right by the front door in the spring. So I'm really hoping that I won't hate the process so much with an auger, because with a shovel, I can't stand it. And I invested in an auger just because I still have an entire bag of garlic to get in the ground, and an auger would make my life a lot easier. So we're gonna get started with that and go from there. Alright, so when using an auger on a drill, definitely the little handle part of the drill to stabilize it is definitely needed. It twisted my arm a little bit. I'm fine though. But instead of drilling some individual holes to put the bulbs in, I just kind of fluffed up the whole area. It's really hard with our soil because it is so clumpy and muddy. So I figured if I just kind of drilled all over in the area and kind of like tilled it up a little bit, then I'll just be able to push the soil out of the way and plop them in where I want them. So we'll see how that works. For those of you who have never planted bulbs before, now every bulb is going to be a little different, but these are tulip bulbs and they look like this. There's a pointy side and then this side. This is the side that the roots come out of, and this is the side that the plant comes out of. So we're going to plant them in the ground like this. So then this is facing upwards. And depending on the size of the bulb is how deep you're going to want to plant them. Bigger bulbs want to be planted, it's like 4 to 5 inches down. smaller bulbs closer to the surface, you know, 2 to 3. Your bulbs, whenever you get them, they should give you the instructions on how deep they want to be planted. What I just did here is I laid them out in a drift. So I started skinny over here, got bigger, and then worked my way skinny again. And so now that they're all placed where I want them to, I'm going to just push them down in the soil, move soil out of the way, plant them up. And so now what I'll do is I'll give them a good water in. Whenever I go to get mulch next, I will pick up some mulch to top dress them with, and they are all ready to bloom beautifully in the spring. Don't forget that if you live in a pretty dry climate, throughout the winter, if you're not receiving a lot of moisture, you're gonna wanna give things a drink every once in a while. Not like you normally would in the spring or summer, but definitely you wanna keep those roots moist so they don't just shrivel up and dry out. For me, I'm probably not gonna give them any supplemental water throughout the winter because we usually do have very wet, rainy winters, but even if you're getting snow, if it's not melting, it's probably not getting down to your roots. So just every few weeks, depending on how dry your climate is, you're gonna wanna splash some water on them. So I don't know if I like the auger. I'd have to give it more of a chance, maybe when the soil's a little drier, but with how clumpy and wet the soil is, it just didn't do a very good job of breaking it apart. And when I just did one single hole, the hole was just kind of rock hard around it because we do have a lot of clay here, and it just kind of, I don't know, I think I would almost rather plant just by digging out a big section and then, you know, planting and then putting the soil back on, you know, more of like a trenching style or something. But I got the job done fairly quickly, so can't complain about that. So I actually think what I'm going to do now is run inside and try and find some pots. I think I'm gonna try and pot up these 2 green bean plants over here and stick them under my grow lights and just see what happens, because right now we are about 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks overdue for a frost. We haven't had one yet. It's been a very mild fall temperature wise, but I do want to see if I can get these green bean plants to continue to grow. I figure I'm not out anything if they don't make it because they would have died outside anyways. So I think it would be a pretty fun experiment to try. Not a very big root system on these. Well, that one's a flop. I see that it is cracked all the way down. That happened before I even pulled it out. So this one, unfortunately, is not gonna make it. But looks like we get to harvest a couple more green beans off of it before it's kaput. So this might be a super stupid experiment, but it's an experiment nonetheless. I think I may need to stake it, see if I can, you know, find a little piece of dowel rod or something. But I figure these plants were living on borrowed time anyways, so I may as well dig it up, put it under some grow lights and see what happens. So right now I'm giving it a good drink. I put some of this Espoma organic tomato and vegetable food. I never know how much to put in because they say like 2 to 3 doses per gallon of water, but have no idea how much this actually holds. And the soil is completely dry, so I'm going to fill it all the way up to the brim with water, let it settle down, and do it a few times, just since the soil that was in the bag has been sitting open and it's a little bit hydrophobic right now, so you gotta rehydrate that. And then I'm gonna stick it under the grow lights, just see how this experiment plays out. And I'm actually gonna take this time to warm up my feet a little bit and work on a project that I've been working on. You know how I said in the last vlog that I have something super exciting planned for the hallway ceiling? Well, this is it. I am making these, let's see, icicle garlands out of beads that I'm going to just string all over the ceiling. It's going to look magical amongst the lights, but for what I want to do, I did the math based off of how far apart I want these icicles to be, you know, hanging from each other. And I need over 1,600 of them. And so if I needed to get that done in a month, which I do, that would be 54 a day. That's not happening. So instead I am going to try and just make as many as I can. So, because even if I started this project in January, I would still need to make 5 every day. That's insane. So this is going to be a project that I work on over many years, but I think regardless, any of these hanging from the ceiling amongst the lights is going to be so pretty. So I'm going to take this time to warm up my feet because I currently only have flip-flops. I don't have any tennis shoes or anything. And it is cold enough outside where flip-flops are not cutting it anymore. Ashley, what are you doing? So let's get warmed up, do some of these, and watch some YouTube, listen to some music, and then we will get back outside. Let me tell you guys, this is going to look amazing on the ceiling amongst the Christmas lights, but also this would look so good on a Christmas tree, and I think I want to make one for the amazing chandelier I'm making for over our dining room table. We had an old extension ladder made from wood that was just sitting on the side of our garage since who knows when. It seems super old. So yesterday we took it apart and cut it down to size, and we're cleaning it, and we are going to hang it from the ceiling and hang lights and greenery, and I think that one of these cascading and swooping down it would be so beautiful. I think I'm gonna call it a day. Like I said, I just needed a relaxed day after the night that we had. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next video. Love you. Bye.